A power zoom lens built for video. How does it actually perform in real-world use? Today we're testing a Nikkor Z 28 to 135mm f4PZ, a lens designed specifically for videographers. But does it live up to the hype? This isn't just a spec rundown. We're putting it to the test in real shooting conditions to evaluate sharpness, focus breathing, zoom smoothness, autofocus reliability, and real-world usability. If you're a filmmaker, content creator, or someone who wants precise zoom control in your Nikon Z setup, this might be the lens for you. And with Red announcing Z-mount support in their Raptor lineup, this lens just became even more interesting. For this review, we'll be testing it on the Nikon Z6 Mark III. This is Nikon's first power zoom in the Z system, so expectations are high. Let's see if it delivers. At first glance, the lens is compact, well built, and feels premium. But what makes it unique is its dual zoom system. You get both a manual zoom ring and an electronically controlled power zoom. So why does that matter? Manual zoom gives you complete control over speed, ideal for dynamic and unpredictable situations. Power zoom allows smooth, repeatable zooms via the built-in rocker switch, a remote or compatible software, making it perfect for cinematic moves, live productions, or remote control camera setups. It also has a custom control ring, 2 function buttons, and an AF/MF switch, making it adaptable to different workflows. There are 11 zoom speeds, from a slow cinematic push-in to a fast reframing zoom. The control is very precise, but I would say for some shooting styles, I still prefer that manual zoom. With power zooms, you're locked into preset speeds, so while it's consistent, you do lose that organic nuance feel of manual adjustments. That said, having both options on the same lens is a great design choice. Many zoom lenses shift focus slightly when zooming, which means constant readjustments. But with this lens, you don't have to worry about that. Whether you are 28mm or 135mm, focus remains consistent, which is a big deal for video work. You won't be able to see any of the focus breathing unless you are pixel peeping, where you can reframe without losing focus. It has very slight minor shifts going throughout the range. This is especially useful for interviews, documentaries, and event coverage. Another major benefit is that this lens is internally zooming. A lot of zoom lenses extend and retract when you change focal lengths, which throws off balance, especially on a gimbal. Since this lens doesn't change size, it stays perfectly balanced, making it a great choice for gimbal work, Steadicams, or robotic camera setups. This lens has a constant f4 aperture, meaning there's minimal exposure shifts when zooming. As you start at the wide end at 28mm and go towards the telephoto end at 135mm, there's some minor light fall off, but it's barely noticeable. Would an f2.8 version be better? Maybe, but it would also be significantly bigger, heavier, and more expensive. For what this lens tries to be, versatile, lightweight, and video focus, f4 is a solid choice. Flare is subjective, but in my opinion, it's very well controlled without noticeable color shifts. The bokeh is generally pleasing, with a soft fall-off, though due to its f4 aperture, it won't provide that extreme subject separation of faster lenses. Testing through the range, there is very minimal cat's eye at 28mm, and by the telephoto end, it stays consistently circular. Sharpness is another strong point here. We tested at 28, 50, 85, and 135mm. At 28mm f4, center sharpness is excellent, but corners are slightly softer. Stopping down to f8 improves this. At 50mm and 85mm, sharpness remains strong across the frame. At 135mm, you can see it's where it's the best. The sharpness and contrast remains consistent throughout the range. At 135mm is probably where it's sharpest. As we go through the range towards the telephoto end, sharpness gets better and better. At 135 is probably where it's strongest, and this is plenty sharp for professional work. For 4K shooters, this lens is more than sharp enough. Autofocus is where things get interesting. This lens uses Nikon's STM stepping motor autofocus system, designed for smooth and silent operation. In good lighting, it's fast and reliable. In low light, autofocus can occasionally hunt. When tracking a moving subject, it's good but slightly slower than Nikon's high-end lenses. If you're working in a fast-paced environment like sports or event work, you might want to test it first. Or wait to see if a firmware update improves performance. We are using a pre-production model here. For most filmmaking use cases, it performs very well. One thing that really caught me off guard is the focus breathing. It's almost non-existent. When you rack focus, framing stays locked. A lot of lenses zoom in or out slightly when focusing, but this one stays rock solid, making it a great choice for controlled cinematic work. Close focus performance is another highlight. At 28mm, the minimum focus distance is 0.34 meters. At 50mm, it remains the same at 0.34 meters. At 85mm, it's 0.43 meters. And at 135mm, it's 0.57 meters. That's much better than I expected. This allows me to get tight shots without switching lenses. If you need a versatile power zoom lens and minimal focus breathing, this is a fantastic option for Nikon shooters. The power zoom function and internal zoom make it a fantastic tool for gimbal work, light productions, and controlled cinematography. However, if you rely on autofocus for fast-paced, unpredictable shooting or need low light performance, there might be better options. Could this be your new go-to video lens? Let me know in the comments below. Check it out at George's Cameras and don't forget to like and subscribe for more in-depth reviews. Thanks for watching.